Okay, so this is find the roots of a quadratic equation. Now I'm going to be showing you 3 ways to find the roots. First one is quadratic formula. Second one is factoring. Third one is completing the square. And fourth one would be the fourth one doesn't exist. Okay, moving on. Um, so the first thing you want to do before you start is you want to make it so it's in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So basically you want a 0 on one of the sides. So what I'm going to do in this example, I'm subtract both sides by -5, and that way it will be equal to 0. That's what I want. And now if you look at this in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, in this a is equal to 2, in this b is equal to 3, and c is equal to -5. And that is the important information we need to know for later. Okay, so quadratic formula. Okay, that's not a thing. Don't mind that. I'll just ignore that. Okay, quadratic equation. It's just start off by writing it out. -b plus or minus, because you'll have two solutions, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And this is equal to x. And this is when it's in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. That's why it was important to set it to be equal to 0. Okay. So then we just plug it in. We're going to use the equation I showed earlier, which would be 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. And we're just going to solve for the roots using our formula. So, -b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Just plug it in. 3 would be b, so it would be -3 plus or minus square root of b squared, 3 squared, minus 4a is 2, so 4 times 2, and then c is -5, so -5. And then it's all over 2a, which would be 2 times 2. Okay, so we just put all our number plugs in, and then we just simplify from here. -3 plus or minus 3 squared minus 4 times 2 times -5 simplifies to 49. 2 times 2 simplifies to 4. Then we get 3 plus or minus square root of 49 is 7. 3. And then, yep. And then we have -3 plus 7 or -3 minus 7 all over 4. And that simplifies to 1 or -5 halves. So, quickly go through that. Yeah. Now, there's also another important thing about quadratic formula that we can use called the determinant. And basically what the determinant is, it's a useful piece of quadratic formula. And, did I spell it right? Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, that's all good. Okay. Anyway, determinant. The determinant is b squared minus 4ac. And this is actually comes from a piece of the quadratic formula. It is -b plus or minus, and the determinant is what's under the square root. In this you can see, if you look, under the square root is b squared minus 4a. Wow. And that's the determinant. And this is important because it lets you know how many solutions there are. So if the determinant is equal to a positive number, then there are two solutions. There are two solutions. If the determinant is negative, no solutions. And if the determinant is equal to 0, then there's one solution. One solution. Okay. So yeah, let's determine it. It can be useful if you want to know if there's a solution at all before you begin. Yep. So now we'll be looking at factoring. Now, factoring is a very quick, easy way to solve for the roots. And is the fastest way, although it doesn't always work. So, what you want to do for factoring is get it to be in the form x plus n times x plus m to be equal to 0. That's what you want the form in. Now, n and m are just both normal, real numbers. Okay. And by the way, I'm going to be using an example. We're not going to delve into when there's a coefficient for x squared. So in our example, we have x squared plus 9x plus 20, and for this factoring to be equal, n times n has to equal 20, and n plus m has to equal 9, because those are the numbers from our equation, and 20 being the c, and 9 being the b. That is when it's an ax squared plus bx plus c. So first we want to look at the factors of 20. That's the first step you want to do. And it can be 1 times 20 equals 20, 2 times 10, and 4 times 5 is possible ways we get 20. Now what we do is we add them up to see if they equal 9. 1 plus 20, it's 21, not 9. 2 plus 10, 2 plus 10 equals 12, it's not 9. And then we have 4 plus 5, and that equals 9. So there's our answer. We want the 4 and the 5 to be our n and m. So we plug in 4 and 5 as n and m. So x plus 4, whole thing, times the quantity x plus 5. Set that to equal 0. And that is the same thing as, it's the same thing as x squared plus 9x plus 20 rewritten. You're going to expand it and see for yourself. And let's just clear the board so it's less clustered. Let's rewrite it. X plus 4 times x plus 5 equals 0. Now, to solve for what x is, we just set 0 to equal what's inside one of the parens and then what's inside the other paren. And we just solve these two equations that we have, and they're linear. Really easy. Negative 4 equals x is one of our solutions, and negative 5 equals x is the other solution. So negative 4 and 5 are our answers. Alright, now for our third and final method, completing, sorry I'm a slow writer, the square, completing the square. Okay, and let's take an example. X squared plus 8x plus 3 equals 12. There, that works. And what we want to do is you want to make it so that that 3 is equal to 16, and that's because you take 8 divided by 2 and square it and get 16. 8 divided by 2, 4 squared, 16. And the reason I got a 25 on the other side is because I had to add 13 to 3 to get 16, and I got 25 on the other side because 12 plus 13. Now, I then make it into an x plus 4 squared because that simplifies using factoring to half of it. Then I just square root both sides, get a plus or minus 5, minus a 5. Then I do plus 5 minus 5 and minus 5 minus 5, and I get 0 or negative 10. Yeah, that's the video.